All right, what's up, MDFL? This is week 7, the recap show with Commish, myself, and Diaper Dave down there. I just got Diaper Dave on the spot, man. That's pretty good.
Down
Uh,
there.
guys, Dave's going to be the most prepared one again this week because I tried to use ChatGPT and I wasted more time teaching it how to do this than if I'd have just gone in and done it myself. And I thought I finally had it to where it has our rosters, it has everything that it needs, it has the scores right, the matchups right. And now I'm looking in here and it's got the players. It's just not accurate, man. Some of it got spot on, some of it did not. AI is not taking over the world just yet because it's not as smart as me, and that's not very smart. So, so Dave, you'll be doing the heavy lifting yet again. I'm sure you're shocked to learn that. But we are going to kick off. We're going to start with best buddies here, Baltimore and Miami.
Yeah, this is for bragging rights on Bristol Main Street.
Nice.
For what it's worth, they're both under construction. I think Gavin's team's a little bit more under construction than what Rich's are, but anyways, it's bragging rights for at least a year. Baltimore's coming in. Gavin's coming in at 1-8. Rich is 4-5. Rich finds himself up by about 160 points. He's going to sleep well tonight. He's got one player left in Mike Evans. Baltimore's got 5 players left. Jahmyr Gibbs, defensive end from Tampa Bay, offense, couple more. Really doesn't matter. I don't see him overcoming this 160 points that he's got to overcome here. So Gavin's going to fall to 1-9 here. Yeah. Probably the selling is going to continue to happen.
Yep, I think you're right there. According to ChatGPT, Gavin still has the Seattle linebacker Bobby Wagner and Seattle's kicker Justin Tucker. What is going on with ChatGPT, dude? Bobby hasn't played in Seattle in a long time, dude. Stupid ChatGPT. All right, but I agree. It doesn't take a lot of analysis to see that this one's over. Rich doesn't exactly escape with a win because he's putting up a respectable score. But, sometimes you think, hey, I got away with one when my defensive line does what his did and puts up less than 20 combined points. And then he gets away with another stinker from Jalen Waddle. What is wrong with Miami? Not Rich, but the Miami Dolphins in the NFL. Just a poop show.
I hope they stink one more time because my Falcons play them next weekend, and we need to straighten out that game after last night's game. So hopefully they can stink it up one more time, and then they can fire the coach.
I'm fully confident that they will suck at least one more game, and then they do need to fire that guy. He's got to go. So, speaking of getting fired, which one of these guys is getting fired, Dan or Braxton?
Well, I'm surprised that Braxton's putting together another good game this week. I'd have to go check, but I think Braxton may be on a 2 or 3 game winning streak after this one. Braxton's coming up in this game at 3-6. He's up by 58 points. He's got 3 players left. Good 3 players: Rashad White, Laporta, and safety Tyke Smith. So he's going to add to that 58-point total. Cleveland Danny's got 4 players left: Cooper Culp, Dalton Schultz, his kicker, and Nwosu, the defensive end from Seattle. Not going to be enough to overcome what Braxton's already got built here. So good win for Braxton. Things are going to start to get a little bit tighter in that, AFC East. And I hate to say it the way it's going to look. Braxton's going to be 4-6, and he's going to be right back in the thick of things when things settle, because I think Miami will win, but it looks like Buffalo and New England are both losing this weekend too. So the 2 bottom teams are going to tighten things up there.
Yeah, I think so. And like you said, Braxton, it's a 2-game winning streak for him, which is a lot for Braxton, and I'm sure he's pleased enough with that. But yeah, absolutely, man. That is a condensing division right there for the reasons you just mentioned. Let's go ahead and jump on that Pitt game right now. Because, he's got a bunch of guys left. Pitt, New England, Joey being the first place there in the East, Justin hanging on to second there in the North. What's Joey got here? I don't even want to check ChatGPT.
All right, Joey. Okay, Joey's down by 94. He does have some players left. He's got Mon St. Brown, Hutchinson, cornerback Dean, safety Petrie, and linebacker Barnes left. So he's got 5 decent players. All Justin and his Steelers got left is Tariq Woolen. I don't think that's enough for Joey to catch him. I think it'll get tighter than what the score shows right now, but I think Pittsburgh hangs on to this one.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think you're right. Just from my overview here, it does seem like he's got the distance right now to go. Go ahead and get this win for himself. Cornerback, be darned. They should score a little bit, and that should be enough. Never out of it. When Joey's got that many guys left, one's a D end and one's an offensive piece, but it's pretty unlikely. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and agree with you there. Joey does drop this one, moving him to 6-4. Justin goes to 7-3. Big win for him. Keeps him right there in stabbing distance in the north. And the only other note from ChatGPT is that Joey, apparently your name is Mark. It has decided that Joey's name is Mark. So from now on, it'll be the New England Patriots owned by Mark. We'll have to figure out who Mark is. All right. Thanks, ChatGPT. Let's jump over to the other divisions here in the AFC. We've got the South taking on the West. This is a big one right here.
This is a big one. This is a good one. I really like the way this one's shaping up here. Eric and his Jaguars, he's up by 9. But he's got 4. Both teams have 4. Both Sean and Eric both have 4 left. Jacksonville's got his coach. He's got Montgomery, his kicker, and defensive end Daniel Hunter. We'll see if Hunter shows up tonight. I'd probably put him on the jinx because he's now on my roster, so he probably will not show up, which is a bad sign for Eric and his Jaguars. Denver, Sean's still got his quarterback, and Sam Darnold left. A punter, offense, and defensive tackle Leonard Williams left. Sam Darnold throws a couple touchdowns. This thing could be over quickly for in Denver's thing. But I think this one is really close at the end. It's going to be a lot closer when this thing settles after tonight. Closer than the 9 points that are separating. We do need to we haven't mentioned yet. There is 2 games tonight. Two Monday night games. There's a Bucks and Lions on at, I believe, at 7:00, and then the Texans to Seahawks. So it's actually still 4 teams playing. We have a lot of players still playing left. So we're going to see some 4, 5, and 7 guys left on some of the teams. So.
Yeah, big scores coming out here too. I mean, this is impressive. You still got a couple offensive guys left from each team. They're going to be up there with 4 guys left. They could be in those high 300 ranges for sure. All it sucks to get up there and then lose. Right now, yeah, I mean the numbers are super tight. I think when I look at it, I probably sway a little bit more towards Eric on here. ChatGPT agrees with me. It has no idea what's going on, of course, but it does agree that Eric's got this one. And I think that's probably where I'm leaning, but could come down to his quarterback. His coach. If his coach
I'm leaning towards Sean and his Broncos just because he's got the quarterback and Sam Darnold. I mean, yeah, it's a little bit easier for Sam Darnold to put up 20 or 30 points than it is for Montgomery, especially when he's splitting the share with Gibbs. So.
Yeah, no, you got a good point. Leonard Williams at defensive tackle. Good grief. I'm looking at his stats right now. His worst game this year is 11 points. For a defensive tackle, that's pretty awesome. He's averaging 19 points a game, so maybe I should switch that. Yep. But for prudence sake, I'll stick with it. I think Eric's going to pull this out. It's a recovery win for him after losing to his cousin Aaron last week, and Aaron's first game back. Nice for Eric to get a win, stay back out in top of his division. And for Sean, if he does end up falling, that'll be a tough one because you talk about another really tight division race. That's what they've got going on in the West. Let's see who we've got next. We kind of are not necessarily guys that are battling for their division, but not out of it either.
This is another one that 2 points difference here. The Raiders are currently up by 2 over Josh and his Texans. The Raiders have 3 players left, one being his coach and Baker Mayfield, which is a great one to have left, and linebacker Al Shahir. Josh and his Texans, they've got 4 left. He's got running back Chubb, his kicker Will Anderson, and Henry Chioto. So this one is very much up for grabs. Too close for me to call.
It's super close, man. Both have some firepower left. Like you said, Aaron's got a quarterback. That's usually a good thing. Their name isn't Cooper Rush. He did get a big fat zero burger out of Jake Tonges. I'm sure he's wishing if he'd have done things differently, he would have started Luke McCaffrey, who didn't have a lot of points, but he had 209 kickoff yards, so he got 14 and a half. that might have been the difference here, because that would have given Aaron a little bump here. With Josh having the extra guy, let's see what ChatGPT thinks, because it's probably going to predict everything right. I don't even know where this game is. There you go. It thinks, it's giving Aaron the win probability of 52%. So there you go.
That's pretty close to 50-50.
That's pretty darn close. We'll give ChatGPT some credit to it, even if it doesn't know who's playing tonight for either team. It may have gotten that right, that it's a really close game. All right, Tennessee and the LA Chargers.
This one's crazy. We've been talking about close games, and this one is 0.2 of a point with 3 players left. I mean, crazy. We usually don't get this close of games, going into a Monday night. But here we are with Dustin and Jared, both with their Titans and Chargers. Both got 3 players left, and both got 3 good players left. Tennessee's got running back Kenneth Walker, defensive tackle Byron Murphy, and Antonio Winfield. And then the Chargers still got Jared Goff, Yaya Diaby, and Ernest Jones. So realistically, 6 legitimate starters. And whoever goes off tonight probably wins this game. I'm not even going to predict which one it is. So,
yeah, just way too much of a toss-up on this one. I agree. So we'll let ChatGPT decide. And it looks like Jared's getting the win on this one. It's giving him a 55% probability. But, yeah, man, for what you mentioned, another stud. Look at that defensive tackle, Byron Murphy, kind of under the radar for me anyway. I think he was drafted in the expansion draft by the Titans, and he's averaging 18.2 points a game himself.
Yep.
So what a freaking stud, man. Was he? Maybe, no, he was in the regular draft. Whatever. He's a stud, playing under the radar. Really nice to have a defensive tackle that can put up those kind of numbers for you. So if Dustin does pull this out, he goes to 500 and Jared falls to 500. If not, obviously a big win for Jared. It would push him up more toward the top of his division. Depending on what Sean does, he may leapfrog Sean. He may even have an opportunity to tie for the division lead, but probably not.
This game here, I would like to recommend that Jason probably needs a fantasy coach. I looked at this roster, and he played Ray McLeod and Terry McLaren. Both of them have been out this week.
Yeah, all week.
And I looked at the roster, and I mean, he's got guys that are on IR and that are out and are free agents all over his roster. So, I don't know if we can recommend or even hire somebody that can give Jason some help here, but Jason needs some help. So
I think this is a job for Rich Evans to tackle. The guy's got a lot of free time. He should be able to sit down with Jason and really go over it. And good.
Well, if Rich ends up becoming a seller, he can probably take Jason under his wing and kind of like what he's done with Gavin a little bit. But Jason's got to clean this up today. So playing 2 wide receivers that didn't start isn't going to help. So with that said, Jason was really proud when he had 2 wins at the beginning of the year, and he's about ready to fall 2-8. He's down by 72. He's got 1 player left, and Julian Love. KC, who's in charge of that AFC West right now, he's up by 7. He's got 5 players left, and his punter is offensive linebacker Anzalon, cornerback Job, and Jack Campbell is linebacker. So KC is going to add to their win total here. And we just need to hire somebody that can help Jason here.
Yeah, I think that's the right call. Big DeForest Buckner game for KC, Mike. Really, DeForest's first big game of the year. That's not true. Never mind. It's just I was watching it, and they're like, oh, that's his 2nd sack. But the guy racks up tackles at an unheard of rate for a defensive tackle. That is unbelievable. So, yeah, never mind. He's been a solid stud all year. But another big game from him. Devin White, 16 tackles out there for the Raiders. That was another one that carried him over. Other than that, not an amazing performance. I mean, Caleb Williams really let Mike down. The fact that he's going to win this one and win it easily and, possibly push that 300-point mark is pretty impressive. As far as standings go, what does that do? So he's obviously at the top of the West with this win.
He's going to go 7-3.
Yeah, so he'll stay there. That'll put him right now as the number 3 seed. I know it's a little early to talk about seeds, but
we're going to talk about it a little bit later. I've got it down. I got some interesting things coming out of that, so we'll talk about it in a little bit at the end. So Over to the
All right,
NFC
let's see
side.
what's going on with you fools in the NFC.
All right, we got Big
Hey,
Mike,
again,
who he retrofitted his team and put his Packers on some steroids by adding some players and through some trades this week. And what's he find? He finds himself up by 100. Both these teams are 5-4, by the way. And Green Bay Mike's up by 128 points. Both got 4 players left. Mike's got tight end Dalton Schultz, Byron Murphy, who we talked about earlier, defensive end Will Anderson and his offense. Shannon Philly, he's needing a lot of help, and I was probably not going to get it, even though he's got Woody Marks, Nwosu, cornerback in Parrish, and safety Winfield still going tonight. Not going to be enough to overcome that 128 points.
No, it's not. Mike's definitely going to win this one. Big win for him, too. I'm looking at his team, dude. At what point do you just sit Saquon Barkley? Because, dude, he might not be his 5th best starter. I mean, he's got points on the bench down here. He's got the Dowdle-Hubbard connection like I do. He just traded for Wan'Dale Robinson and benched him. He outscored Saquon. Both of those other running backs did. And look at Aronde Gadsden, dude, throwing out a 40 burger.
I looked at Gadsden, and I think you picked him up in like the 6th or 7th round of the draft. What a steal.
Unbelievable. Great pick. Yeah, I mean, he's a guy I watched. He played at Syracuse and then I think somewhere else before going pro, but maybe it was just Syracuse. Anyway, he's a stud. But, yeah, he made some trades, but, yeah, a lot of these guys are guys that he kind of got organically. So just huge props, man. That's another really big win for him this week. Kind of coasting in there. So he's going to be 6-4. And that is the top of the NFC North right now, and he's got a huge advantage in the points for tiebreaker. So he's sitting pretty comfy right there in the top of the NFC North. Some guy that's not so comfy is
Chicago and Washington. I looked at this game earlier, and Chicago had a huge lead in this game. And then the 4:00 games, and Dan and his Commanders they tightened that game up. But currently, Chicago came in at 1-8. He's up by 27. Mike's got 1 player left, and Yaya Diaby. Mm-hmm. And Dan and his Washington Commies, he's got 3 players left: Nico Collins, Josh Joby, and Anzalon. Plenty of power there to probably overcome that 27. I'm saying Washington pulls this one out.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. He does. He gets back on the winning side. He dropped one last week. But this is a big win for him, especially given the fact that he's riding with Geno right now while Lamar is out. Anytime you can lose, really probably your best player, your star player is Lamar Jackson, right? And to be winning without him and leaving a lot of points on the bench as I scroll down too, he's going to get away with one here. So that's a huge win for Dan. He stays right up there in the NFC East. We'll talk about Dallas here in a little bit, but a big win to go 6-4 and stay in that contention there. So we'll go Minnesota and New York first.
Minnesota, New York. Hayden and his Vikings coming in at 5-4. Caleb and his Giants are 1-8. Hayden's up by 101. He's got 5 players left. This one's crazy. They got 12 players left in this game.
Yeah.
So Minnesota's got 5 players left, and his coach, he's got quarterback Mayfield, his kicker, Leonard Williams, and his offense. The Giants have got their coach, JSN, Chubb, his kicker, defensive end Hassan Reddick, and Al-Shair, and a cornerback in Lassiter. So 12 players left to be played this game. When it's all said and done, Minnesota and Hayden's taking the victory in this one.
Yeah, I think so. Caleb's 1-game winning streak comes to an end. Big win for Hayden. Obviously, we just talked about Mike being 5-4 and being at the top, but now Mike will be 6-4, and looks like Hayden will be 6-4. Mike N obviously dropping games there and doesn't care because he's rebuilding. But you got the top 3 again in the NFC North who are going to be fighting. It's just a different 3 than what we saw last year. But yeah, once again, we've got a bunch of guys in the NFC North that are just battling it out, duking it out. So fun to watch it. Caleb might have got a little ammunition here with an injury to your beloved Falcons. I don't know if you've heard, is Divine Diablo legit injured, or what's his story?
He's got an arm injury, and from what I was reading for a while, he is going to miss a couple games.
Yeah. So JD Bertrand there for
Bertrand absolutely sucks. Oh my gosh, he couldn't even tackle CMC last night. It was horrible.
Well, he's a fighting Amish, so that's not too surprising. But it should give him, maybe a player to play this year, or maybe he trades him
Should have
away.
give him another player.
Yeah, I trade him away if somebody needs a starting linebacker, which everybody does. That's some trade bait for you, Caleb. Then he's got Danny Stutzman too on his bench, who ended up getting a lot of snaps and is starting to steal snaps from Fred Warner. Not Fred Warner, whatever the white guy is for the Saints, Warner, the German one. But yeah, so a couple things going right in Caleb's direction there, but he is going to fall to 1-9. All right, so rounding out the North and the East, this is a big game too.
This is a big one here. Jordan's on top of that NFC North division, but he's 5-4. Dallas comes in at 7-2. Jordan's got 3 players left. Donnie's got 5 players left. Currently, Jordan and his Lions are up by 17. He's got 3 players left. Kicker Gibbs, his running back, and his linebacker Jack Campbell. Dallas, 5 players and 5 good ones to go with it. So Jared Goff, Rashad White, DeMarcus Lawrence, his kicker, and Levante David. I think there's enough firepower there to overcome that 17 points. And I'm going to give this one to Dallas, which really tight with Jordan losing this one. If Jordan can't hang on, it just really tightens up the whole NFC North over there.
Man, it tightens up the whole doggone playoff picture in the NFC. Just again, so many guys smashed there right around 500. And then he's going to, I think at this point, if he does lose this one, he's going to be on the wrong side of that equation right now. He'll probably be the 8 or the 9.
He needs to try to stay that one game ahead of the Packers and the Vikings.
He really does. But yeah, the other irony of it is his boy Jared Goff. Jared Goff is probably going to be the one that puts the final nail in his coffin tonight. Yep, I think Donnie's going to get this one too. Big win for him. Huge win for Donnie.
Yep.
He's really having himself a year. That's 4 in a row. All right, guys. Oh, we'll skip your game real quick. We'll come back to it.
All right, this one's interesting. Mm-hmm. It's for me, it's over. Carolina's 5-4, San Francisco's 4-5, and these are 2 teams going in 2 different directions. Currently, San Francisco's up by 61 points. He's got Kenneth Walker left on his bench. Carolina's got 1 player left, and Drake Thomas, his linebacker. I think Flick is officially in sell mode. He has been in sell mode, but traded away his quarterback this week and left him Jake Browning as a starting quarterback. Legal. Don't know if it's correct, but it's legal. So it's either him or Cooper Rush who's on the bye.
Yeah, he's just had, that aside, he had Anthony Richardson, who he had his hopes and dreams tied to. And then, of course, really when his quarterback went on IR, Joe Burrow, that was probably the beginning of the end, and then Malik Neighbors right behind him. So, yeah, he had a good team to start out with. The fact that he's 5-4 is pretty impressive, showed the depth that he had. But he's dropping this one after some bad games from some guys, Rome and Tatoria. A couple of young guys didn't show up. Tony Pollard in that Titans offense just can't get it going. So, yeah, he's going to drop this one. And, again, there we go. 2 more teams in the NFC that are going to be 5-5. So it is just such a dogfight right there in the middle. But, yeah, Matt's taking that one. Huge win for him. Props. All right. There we go. A couple guys just a little under 500.
Tampa Bay, Seattle. We'll see what your AI has to say about this one. But both teams are coming in at 3-6. Dustin and his Bucks, he's up by 32. He's got a safety and Petrie left. Josh and his Seahawks down by 32. He's got a quarterback, Stroud, linebacker Ernest Jones, and Derek Barnes left as linebackers. Mm-hmm. So he's got some firepower to overcome the 32 points. This one could be interesting. This one could flip. I don't necessarily want to call it, but it's doable, if Stroud shows up tonight, if good Stroud shows up.
That's what it is right there too, isn't it? That's really all that matters almost in this game. Everybody else is kind of going to be a high floor guy, low ceiling, probably not going to be any massive scoring, but it's what does Stroud do? He's obviously not been very good since his rookie year.
No.
Yeah, he's averaging right now. He's still he was a first-round draft pick. Now, he blew up last week. He had 46 points last week, but I think that was against a pretty bad Baltimore defense. So it'll be interesting to see if he can do anything tonight. But, yeah, obviously if he goes for another 46 burger, this game is over. ChatGPT likes it for you anyway, Josh. So I'm going to go ahead and call this one for Josh. He gets closer to that 5-5 bunch. He'll be sitting at 4-6, and for Dustin, it's probably a little more of a move into sell-off season. It looks like losing a game like that, that's probably the nail right there for you, bud. But hey, do whatever you got to do. Some people fight till the end. I think that's great too. All right, two big guns right here, man. We got Brent versus Jeff. This is another. We had some great games this week, and this is just another one of them.
Yeah, both teams are 6-3 coming into this game, but Arizona a little bit more on the line for Jeff and his Cardinals, who's on top of that NFC West. Jeff finds himself down by 71 points, which is probably way too much. He's got 2 players left, just his punter and Henry Chioto, also going for Jeff tonight. And Brent's got 2 left, Amon St. Brown and Jamal Dean, cornerback. Brent and his Saints hold on to this one. Brent has been on quite the roll, throwing up some big points and making some noise in the NFC South. He's got my attention. Let's just put it that way. So,
yeah, I think so. That's another big game for him, and I mean, yeah, he's got it on lock. He's going to go over his average again, so yeah, he's going to move to 7-3, pull himself really firmly into that 5 seed. Again, I'll let you talk more about that coming up, but. Yeah, with the points for average just going to be going up. It's at 320 right now. It's just going to get higher after these 2 guys are done tonight. That is absolutely a team that you better watch out for, man.
Well, he got 68 points out of 2 rookies that he drafted this year in Hunter and Judkins this year. Yeah. So, he had the draft picks, drafted the right guys, and they hit this week for him. So
sure did. Getting Rashee Rice back, I mean, it's huge. And then Jackson Dart, that was a tragic loss for the poor New York rookie, but there's again another rookie that scored 40 points for him. Look at his defensive ends down here. I mean, 31 out of Chason, Montez Sweat for 26. Some other good performances. Josiah Stewart is another young guy. He's starting to get sacks and getting more time in the LA rotation. So yeah, look, just really great depth too. When
if Brent could only find somebody in the division to find somebody who needs a defensive end, they could probably do a deal.
I don't know who that would be. So yeah. All right, we'll hop over to you, and then we'll finish up with me and Buff over there. But you got a nice score you're putting up here too, and it looks like it's going to be enough for you.
This one I'm up by 43. I got 3 players left in Laporta, Daniel Hunter, and Tyke Smith. Scott and his Rams, he's got 1 player left in defensive end Hutchinson. To me, watching this game yesterday, as I was watching my phone unfold. But both Scott and I, we were down in the mid 100s for a long time until about the second half of the 4 o'clock games, and Herbert and Bo Nix just went off, obviously in the 3rd and 4th quarter, and of course they put up 48 and 52 points. All of that was late scoring for both of us. So,
I'm more curious about who Brad Robbins is, your punter.
He's a guy who's available. That's going to go back on a taxi, and he's getting cut tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't think he must not have gotten the game. He at least didn't get any points. And with the Raiders scoring 0, I'm imagining that they did punt on occasion. So, yeah, I think that
I had 2 choices. I only had 1 punter. My punter's on bye this week, and I had 2 choices. He was one. He was on a 3-year he's a 3rd-year player. So it's like, all right, I'll play a punter short and throw him in there, and then put him back on taxi and cut him tomorrow.
Scott was decent enough to have one of his kickers go for 0 as well. So good guy, Scott. He evened it out for you there. A couple of his running backs really came back down to earth this week with Bill and Kamani Vidal. Both had great weeks last week. Right back down to earth this week. His poor tight end had 3 points based off of a tackle. Yikes. So, yeah, not a good week for Scott. Slips down further, and he's right there with Dustin, who we just talked about. Kind of on the outside looking in at this point, right? Big win for you, but for Scott, it's time to go through those assets. I know he got the win last week. His points for average is not terrible. In fact, it's higher than some of his league mates who are looking at the playoffs right now. But that means you've got assets to sell, and it may be time to do that. Do whatever you need to do. I also heard bad news about Max Crosby. I don't know if we've got an update on that or not. But, yeah, he was knocked out of the game, and I heard it didn't look good. I don't know what it actually is, or I don't think they've announced what it is yet, but hopefully that's nothing too bad, and Max Crosby can still be there to provide him some value. All right. Last game. This one, definitely had me worried until last night. And I feel a lot better about it now going into Monday night. But we've each got 2 guys left. I've got JSN going, and then I've got a linebacker in Servasia Dennis. For Buffalo, he's got a couple guys. He's got another offensive piece.
And Nico Collins.
Nico, that's right. It was Nico, and then he's got a DB.
Levante David.
That's right, linebacker Levante David. So he's got good guys left, and he's going to score some more points. I mean, my goodness, by all means, he can be up there around 350 by the time this thing's said and done. But with me having a couple guys that are pretty high floor guys, I'm feeling pretty good about this one.
Well, I think you benefited from CMC last night with the 52 points.
That was huge, man. It was so nice to watch that team finally gel. And I mean, CMC is great. They run their offense through him, obviously, but how important is George Kittle to that offense? Because, with him being out the last 4 games, they couldn't run the ball. CMC was averaging like 3.3 yards per carry. Last night he comes in, averages 5 yards a carry, 2 tutties, catches 7 passes for 72 yards. He was an absolute stud for me. That's why we pay him the big bucks over here in Cincy. So, yeah, I'm taking that bad boy home. I'm staying right there with Eric, fighting over that number 1 seed. It is a super important seed for me. I'd say more than Eric because I do have a lot of Week 14 bye guys. So if I don't get the first round bye, that might not bode well for me in the first round of the playoffs. So, all right. I know you had some before we jump into the other stuff. Do you want to go over?
Yeah, I'm just playing with some numbers here. I know we kind of hinted at playoff spots and stuff like that. Just wanted to, I did the numbers, looked at them. I came away with the top 8 seeds of the AFC. Actually, 7 are going to make it. I threw the 8th one just to see who's in there. Right now, coming into this week, Cincinnati had the 1 seed, Jacksonville 2, KC the 3 seed, New England the 4 seed, Pittsburgh was 5, Denver was 6, with the Bills being the 7 seed, with the Chargers being on the 8 seed on the outside looking in. Can comfortably say you're going to get a win. The 3 seed with the KC is going to get a win. The 4 seed New England is going to get a loss this weekend. So that whole AFC East is going to tighten up with both Joey and Jeremy both losing, and Rich and Braxton both winning. So that's going to tighten things up. If Denver gets that win, obviously that tightens things up. The Chargers, if Jared gets a win, he probably passes Jeremy for that 7 seed and probably knocks Jeremy out of a playoff spot right now. So
that's crazy. That's crazy, dude. I honestly feel kind of bad for Jeremy because he's going to put up another really good score this week, and he's going to go down again. So he's going to be over his average, which is 320. He's by far the leading scorer in the AFC East, and he's going to fall down another game. He's going to be tied with Rich, and then Joey will be a game ahead of him still. So just like you said, man, that one's a wild one. Poor Jeremy.
So I did the same thing over in the NFC. Came away with Atlanta sitting at number 1 seed, Dallas the number 2 seed, Arizona the 3 seed, Green Bay the 4 seed coming into the weekend, with the wild cards being New Orleans, Washington, and Detroit, with Minnesota Hayden being the 8 seed on the outside looking in. Got Arizona taking a loss this week out of the 3 seed, Green Bay taking the win. So Green Bay is going to jump up to that 3 seed right now. Arizona will fall down to the 4 seed. Jordan and his Lions right now, Ward sitting at the 7 seed. If he loses, looks like Hayden is going to jump in front of him and knock him off the bubble there. Mm-hmm. So not too early to start to look at that stuff. Starting to get some shuffling of who's winning, who's losing, what's the playoffs look like. The other thing I want to mention, trade deadline is just 2 weeks away.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, guys, obviously the Jared rule is in effect. So if you didn't already pay to trade your draft picks, you can't this year. Very likely we're going to make a commissioner's executive decision next year. We're going to get rid of that stupid rule. I don't understand why it was in there in the first place. But, the thing where you have to pay by a certain date to trade future picks, I think we're going to get rid of that. But for now, it's in there. So you got 2 more weeks to trade. If you haven't already paid to trade future draft picks, you can't. That's my point.
So, after week 9, trading deadlines after week 9, and taxi claims will be closed at that. So, taxi is going to be shut down in about 2 weeks after that.
You'll still be able to shuffle guys off and on taxi, use it for free drops. But, snipes will be off. So you can safely put some studs down there, free up some cap if you need to. It helps teams maneuver, but like Dave mentioned, the trading will be off at that point. So yeah, it kind of evens up on waivers, but you won't be able to grab players. So if you're looking at your team, like I'm looking at Donnie right now, and he's another team just like me. He's vying for that number 1 seed, and it would be pretty important for him to get it. He's got CMC, he's got George Kittle, he's got Ashawn Robinson, Price off. So he's got multiple starters that would be out in week 14 if he doesn't end up securing that number 1 seed. So he's going to be fighting all the way to the end. I wouldn't be surprised to see Donnie make a couple more trades and try to stack a little bit more firepower up there on that team. He added Josh Jacobs, didn't he? Yeah, that's been his big one that happened last week. And looking at his other stuff here, nothing else really boomed. He had a trade not too long ago where he gave up Aaron Rodgers for a 1 pick, whatever. But yeah, maybe time for him to push. I'm just trying to get him to beat you, Dave, is what I'm after. So let's hope that happens.
Well, look like a little bit more distance between the two of us. So
go Donnie. All right, man. All right, let's look at Survivor Pool. This should be quick.
Two-thirds or 67% of the teams, both Mike and you both got it correct. Jeff obviously hasn't revealed who his pick is. One of 4 teams tonight. Take your choice, but he's got to pick a winner tonight to advance. So, again, I'll just state I can't believe that you guys have gone 7 weeks. By this time last year, we probably were in our third Survivor Pool by 7 weeks. So, congrats to you guys so far. But
yeah. If we can just shrug off Jeff tonight, I don't know who he took because this is a weird Monday night. I don't think there's any oh man, thank God I've got this team. Probably the Lions.
I don't know as if you would take the Bucs Lions, but who you take the Texans over the Seahawks. I mean, to me, neither one of those are a slam dunk pick. But
yeah, so he got Buck Wild, and if he falls off here, maybe me and Mike Nichols will have a talk. We'll split the cash and we'll reset this thing before we're halfway through the bloody season. Yeah, I did not expect it to last this long. All right, pool results. Oh yeah,
things are tightening up at the top.
Yep. I had a little bit of a weird start. I didn't think I was having a real good week, but then Dallas pulled it out. San Francisco winning helped me made up a little ground there, I think. But me and you were tied at 70. Brent's still holding strong at 72. He's out in front there. But yeah, the bigger week so far has come from Mike Nichols and Jordo, who both gained at least 1 point, if not 2 points on Brent. Again, anything could happen tonight. Who knows who called what? But yeah, it's I think when I looked it up, there was not a lot of upsets in the NFL this week. Like if you were just betting on the gambling line straight up and down, the Cincinnati game was an upset, and maybe the Browns one was. But yeah, I don't know that there was. So I think it was just a good week to kind of take the home team and ride it out.
So I think we got to get our heads together on what we're doing on Thursday nights, because I think this is like the 3rd week in a row nobody's picked a Thursday night winner.
Yeah, Pitt, then Philly, then the Rams. Yeah, got to go all the way back to
crazy or what?
That is wild. That's pretty nuts all right there. But Thursday nights are just known for being, pardon my French, but kind of a shit show. So yeah, that doesn't shock me too much. These poor guys have 4 days rest or whatever it is, and they're practicing all that time anyway. 4 games of prep, I should say. So it's brutal for an NFL player to have to go, and I think that's why we see some of the weird stuff we see on Thursday nights. But, all right, man. Anything else I'm forgetting?
Yep. Well, one last thing before we close it out. Let's wish a happy birthday to our own Jeremy and our Bills Mafia, who's another year around the sun this year. So happy birthday, Jeremy.
I'm reading the comments now. Sean Ballantyne, dumb rule. I took some risks. Jordo says, fucking Donnie. That's not right. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Definitely appreciate it. It's always fun to do, especially when Dave does most of the work. That makes it way more fun for me.
All right, I'll have a new power rankings out in the morning.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you soon.
All right, we'll see you guys later.